Just over 20 minutes till markets close. Let's get a check in on the markets with Yahoo Finance's very own Joshua Schafer.
Hey Josh, yeah, so you're seeing all three major averages still trading near their lows of the day, coming up a little bit, but I've sort of been asking strategists throughout the day today just essentially what they make of the market action, what they feel like has been driving it, and sort of where stocks go from here. So the large take has been sort of something that you guys have obviously already talked about on the show, kind of the unwinding of this carry trade from Japan, being what started weighing on markets. You could really probably even go back to last Friday's jobs report, saying that also was partially what is weighing on markets, right? This economic data shift and how we're receiving data and sort of bad news becoming bad news. What I thought was interesting that I heard from two different strategists, though, was essentially that when you look at what's being pulled down the most, it's the most crowded trades, and that's kind of a call that we've been hearing for really over a month now, maybe 6 months, maybe you could say it's been a year, that people have been circling that concentration though, right? And saying at some point this is gonna unwind, at some point this is gonna unwind. And when we just think about this market action, you guys were just talking about Nvidia down, I think over 6 or 7% at this point today, probably 30% in the last month now. That's a call that people have been talking about, and sort of the takeaway from the team at Citi was, well, if the crowded trade was what brought everything up, that's what's going to happen on the way down too, and also getting to the point of maybe that's not a bad thing. This is what people have been talking about, right? We want that unwinding to happen, so then you have more of a normal market. And essentially the big tech earnings that we got last week didn't meet these really high expectations that we have. So then you get a little bit of jitteriness, a couple technical things happen, and then it all starts unwinding.
Well, and let's talk about the magnitude of that unwind, because those always get a lot of attention. So the Magnificent Seven in particular, what the market cap erasure today, is that a record? Is that what's the current
I think it was close to a record. We had a record last week, right? So we're recreating their own records, I guess, at some point when you start to look at that. So that's been definitely an area to watch, Julie. And I think the interesting part of that is what's the near-term catalyst to bring the Magnificent Seven trade back, and I don't really know if you have one.
I mean, we got to wait until the end of the month for Nvidia. We were talking about that earlier. The timing of Nvidia's earnings is inconvenient, I think, for the rest of the market and from catalyst purposes, or it's a boon if they're going to come out and beat as they have been.
And I also wonder, though, when you think about that, and we talk about these big tech stocks in that group all the time, right? How much will it matter if Nvidia does the Nvidia earnings thing again and they surprise and their earnings are going up? Like, does that tell me that the other stocks are going to monetize their AI strategy? It seems like we're getting to a point right now in market sentiment where investors are questioning that thesis more. That just the broad AI trade is all one thing. And if AI is hot, then everything in AI can go up. I think one of the bigger takeaways I have from the last 2 weeks of action is just the AI trade in general is under more scrutiny and is being viewed differently depending on what company you are. And so I don't know, it'll be interesting to see when Nvidia does come out. Can they sort of bring that narrative back, or are we at a point where the AI trade is never just one trade anymore?
More selective.
Yeah.
We'll find out, but we have to wait.
TBD.
Okay, thanks a lot, Josh. Appreciate it.